Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC. Big breaking news coming out of Anfield. Liverpool's January plans are heating up. Federico Chiesa deal reportedly agreed. Florian Wirtz sends a powerful message. And Virgil van Dijk faces a painful verdict that's got fans talking plus. A $52 million PSG ace could be on the move, and Arne Slot's transfer target just got cheaper. Stay tuned, Reds. This one's packed with fire updates you don't want to miss. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Federico Chiesa agreement reached as Liverpool January plan takes shape. Federico Chiesa has prompted much debate among Liverpool supporters this season, and he could now have a new role to play for Arne Slot. Aren't the only Liverpool players to dominate the discourse during a testing first 2 months of the season. But the immediate futures of Federico Chiesa and Mohamed Salah could now become entwined, for Reds boss Arne Slot. Few could argue against Salah being nowhere near his devastating best this campaign, while Chiesa has predominantly made the most of his first-team opportunities with 2 goals and 2 assists in less than 180 minutes of action. Salah has helped Egypt qualify for the World Cup this week and could be missing for up to 10 games from Christmas onwards due to participating in the Africa Cup of Nations for his country. And while Slot has tentatively earmarked Jeremy Frimpong for the right flank role in Salah's absence, could Chiesa become a realistic option? The Echo writers take a look. Paul Gorst, while far from his vintage best in the early weeks of the new season, a late December period without Mohamed Salah should be a prospect that concerns Arne Slot. It's one of the busiest times of the Premier League calendar, so the idea of losing the Egyptian talisman is far from ideal. But it is at least something Liverpool are used to, with the Africa Cup of Nations rolling around every 2 years. The expensive rebuild of the forward department in the summer means the likes of Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, and Florian Wirtz will be made to shoulder the responsibility for the goals and assists in Salah's absence, while Cody Gakpo will also be expected to decisively contribute. But as the Salah door gets set to temporarily close for Slot, the window for Federico Chiesa opens, and a fit and firing Italian could be just what is needed later this season. The man of the match cameo against Southampton in the Carabao Cup was followed up by an equalizer off the bench at Crystal Palace recently, but momentum has been halted this time out by a minor knock that kept him out of the trip to Galatasaray before he kicked his heels on the bench at Chelsea also. If he can get nearer to full pelt by the end of December, however, Chiesa will be the best fit to fill in where Salah won't be, and while that is something that has been said seemingly time and again during the former Juventus man's time on Merseyside, the AFCON will leave Slot with few alternatives. Jeremy Frimpong was signed as someone who could deputize for Salah, but Chiesa is much more of a natural fit as a frontman. Frimpong, despite his versatility, is effectively a wingback filling in. AFCON could be Chiesa's time to shine then if he can get fit enough. Ian Doyle, first things first. Mohamed Salah will soon rediscover his mojo, and that he has scored twice for Egypt in midweek will hopefully act as a boost for his confidence and settle any concerns he may have over his game. Salah isn't going to become inessential overnight, and as such, Liverpool are going to miss him when he disappears for the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, which runs between December 21 and January 18th. Jeremy Frimpong had appeared the most likely replacement, with Arne Slot already attempting to blood him in the position. Hugo Ekitike could presumably also do a job given his versatility across the front line, but will perhaps be needed elsewhere. While Cody Gakpo for now remains the first choice on the left flank, although he did play on the right when Salah was at the AFCON 2 years ago, easy to forget. Though that when Federico Chiesa was brought from Juventus last summer, it was primarily as understudy to Salah. Such chances have been scarce since. Chiesa, though, has become a more viable attacking alternative for Liverpool this season, and should be given minutes over the next few months with a view to potentially stepping in for the Egyptian. Will he start every game when Salah is away? No. But with so many fixtures around the festive period in various competitions, there should be opportunities for Chiesa to stake a claim, and unlike last season, he has proven he can make a positive difference. Florian Wirtz' message unmistakable as teammate, shocked by Liverpool reports. Florian Wirtz has yet to stamp his class at Liverpool so far, but the glowing reports from his homeland hint that it might not be. Too far away at Anfield, it was news to Germany's Serge Gnabry this week when it was put to him that Florian Wirtz was experiencing some teething problems at Liverpool. The Bayern Munich winger was speaking at a press conference to preview Die Mannschafts World Cup qualifier with Luxembourg on Friday night when he was asked about Wirtz's general adaptation to life on Merseyside. "We all try to help each other as teammates, especially the ones in a difficult situation," Gnabry said. "But I don't have the impression that Flo is not doing well. He's laughing and training well. Nobody doubts his qualities, and he shouldn't either. Give the guy some time. It was a big move, but he has huge qualities, and I'm certain that he will succeed." Gnabry's effusive praise of Wirtz's ability comes hot on the heels of an appraisal from Germany legend Jürgen Klinsmann this week, who himself remarked in an interview with Sports Illustrated, "Florian needs his time to find his way around the northwest of England. Liverpool in particular. That's a lot for a young guy. And then he comes into a team that consists only of superstars. He has to fight his way through step by step, and he will. He is a fighter." Further reassurance, if it was needed for Wirtz, came via the German FA's sporting director, Andreas Rettig, who said, "One thing is clear. Florian will establish himself at Liverpool. There's no debate. No one can seriously claim that a player of his quality won't succeed. And even the iconic Rudi Völler has had the situation of the current jewel of German football thrown at him." Völler, who has previously worked as sporting director at Leverkusen, struck a similar tone to other prominent figures in Wirtz's homeland, saying, "Florian shouldn't let himself get carried away. I have no concerns about that. He'll show the English what he's made of. Florian is playing in a new league and a new club. These are normal adjustment problems. Almost every professional has them. I have no doubt that with his running and playing ability, he will make the breakthrough. That, which is the subject of so much chatter in Germany, is indicative of the fact that the 116mm playmaker has yet to light the blue touch paper on his Anfield career so far. It's been a difficult adjustment for so many of the club's new arrivals this summer, and the Reds entered into the international break on the back of 3 successive defeats. That is the worst sequence of its kind under Arne, and the club hasn't been on such a run since the early months of 2023. For Wirtz, he sits alongside Alexander Isak as the most high profile of the new arrivals, but the former Newcastle United man's issues are more easily explained, given the lack of preseason he was able to undertake as his protracted and acrimonious departure from St. James's Park went on. Isak, rightly or wrongly, is likely being cut more slack by observers of Premier League football due to the evidence of his capabilities that has been banked over the last 2 to 3 years of his career on Tyneside. The Sweden international has scored more than 40 times in the Premier League in the last 2 terms, many of them still fresh in the collective memory. Virgil van Dijk left on edge as Liverpool defender given painful verdict, Liverpool skipper. Virgil van Dijk has once again been subjected to stinging criticism in Holland-Liverpool. Captain Virgil van Dijk has been subject to yet more criticism in Holland after being slammed as painful and weak. Van Dijk skippered the Dutch national team to a comprehensive 4-0 win in Malta in their latest World Cup qualifier on Thursday evening. However, the centre-back has once again been targeted for severe assessment in his homeland, with many outlets rating him the worst Holland player on the pitch. Van Dijk gifted Malta a chance early on with a wayward back pass and later on picked up a booking that leaves him 1 yellow card from a suspension, with Holland having 3 key qualifiers remaining. Voetbal Primeur declared Van Dijk looked weak after his mistake in the opening moments, while Algemeen Dagblad said of the error it was painful that the Dutch captain had such a light-hearted moment in a team that is all too often accused of lacking urgency in matches. Of his booking, Van Dijk said, "I didn't consider it a yellow card at all. I hear I'm on edge, and I have to deal with that. This is part of the game. We still have 3 important matches to achieve that. On to the next one. Holland take on Finland at home on Sunday before finishing the group with a key visit to Poland and a home game against Lithuania. Van Dijk will return to Merseyside next week to start preparing for the Resumption of Liverpool's season when they entertain Manchester United on Sunday week. Liverpool transfer news as 52 Manolers PSG ace considered and Arne slot targets price cut. Liverpool transfer news as 2 more centre-backs are linked with moves to Anfield in addition to Marc Guehi, with the England ace set to be available for free next summer. Liverpool went big in the summer of 2025, signing the likes of Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz to reshape Arne Slot's attack, and the center of the Dutchman's defense could be next. So far this year, Ibrahima Konaté's form has been shaky, and his Liverpool contract is set to expire at the end of the season as things stand. Virgil van Dijk, meanwhile, will not be able to play at his current level forever, and a long-term successor will have to be sought. Here is the Liverpool.com verdict on the transfer gossip to emerge around the Reds today. Unsurprisingly, 2 center-backs are being linked with moves to Anfield, and neither are Marc Guehi. Willian Pacho, PSG. Liverpool is keeping tabs on the PSG center-back Willian Pacho as an alternative to Guehi in 2026, according to the Portuguese outlet Record. Sporting CP's Zeno de Bast is another option, the report says, with several clubs around Europe interested in Guehi, given his contract status and burgeoning reputation at international level. Bayern Munich. Real Madrid and Barcelona have been linked with the England ace this week and have been tipped to join the race for his signature in 2026. Even if Guehi signs for Liverpool, it might be a good idea to look at other defenders like Pacho too. Konat could leave when his contract expires, and Joe Gomez has almost exited in each of the last 2 summers. Pacho, who moved to France from Eintracht Frankfurt for a fee that could reach $52 million, $39 million, including add-ons, has been in and out of the PSG starting at-in so far this season. Ilya Zubarny arrived in Paris this summer, signing from Bournemouth, while Lucas Beraldo is highly rated. Luis Enrique also has Marquinhos to select. Castello Lukeba, RB Leipzig. Liverpool is among the clubs that are interested in signing RB Leipzig center-back Castello Lukeba. According to Caught Offside, he has a release clause of $104 million, $78 million, but supposedly could be sold for 2/3 of that, $69 million, $52 million. Lukeba is also said to be on the short list for clubs like Newcastle United, Manchester United, and Chelsea. Real Madrid, which holds an interest in Konaté, could also come to the table. Like Pacho, Lukeba is a talented young defender. He is 22. Liverpool has been linked with him several times before, and Leipzig has a history of producing strong players in that position, including Konaté and Josko Gvardiol. I know how angry Florian Wirtz can get. My opinion on Liverpool's star is very clear. Florian Wirtz has struggled to replicate his form in the Premier League since his record-breaking switch to Liverpool. But Granit Xhaka has no doubt that the playmaker will come. Good. Granit Xhaka has dismissed worries surrounding Liverpool playmaker Florian Wirtz, whilst providing rare insight into the 22-year-old's mindset behind the scenes. Both the Switzerland international and Wirtz celebrated triumph together at Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso as they claimed both the Bundesliga and German Cup. The Germany international has faced criticism in recent weeks following his sluggish start to Premier League life, which has coincided with the defending champion's decline. Following his $116 million switch from Leverkusen, the spotlight has focused on the playmaker and whether he can reproduce his impressive displays in England's top flight. Following a sequence of 3 consecutive losses, with 2 coming in the Premier League, Liverpool icons and big-name pundits analyzed the Reds and identified Wirtz as a problem, highlighting a lack of equilibrium with him in the squad. Jamie Carragher and Wayne Rooney both identified weaknesses in Arne Slot's team, but believed that Wirtz would prove successful for the Reds once they finally clicked. And the former Arsenal midfielder Xhaka reckons that Wirtz will illuminate the Premier League. Flo Wirtz I had the joy to be with him for 3 years. A lot of English people will enjoy him. He was unbelievable, not just with the ball, but the work off the ball, he told Sky Sports. I didn't see many number 10s on his level with or without the ball. To be his age, 20, 21, have this mentality, putting in work day by day before training, after training, being angry if he doesn't win a training session. This is Florian Wirtz. I know how much he can bring to the Premier League. Hopefully not against us, but the rest of the year I wish him the best because he deserves it. Despite mixed reviews from the English press, back home in Germany, footballing legends have been quick to defend Wirtz and remain optimistic about his performances. Rudi Völler sees promising signs from the young German star, even though his goal contributions haven't quite hit the mark yet. The big difference is, at Bayer Leverkusen, despite the individual quality of the other players he was always looked for, Völler told Sky 90. Despite mixed reviews from the English press back home in Germany, footballing legends have been quick to defend Wirtz and remain optimistic about his performances. Rudi Völler sees promising signs from the young German star, even though his goal contributions haven't quite hit the mark yet. The big difference is, at Bayer Leverkusen, despite the individual quality of the other players he was always looked for, Völler told Sky 90. Players like Granit Xhaka, Alejandro Grimaldo, or Robert Andrich certainly ran the game, but the moment Florian made himself available, he always got the ball. Even as a young lad, he was already the boss. I deliberately watched some Liverpool games with him. He does an incredible amount of work, runs a lot, makes many sprints, and also goes deep. But he isn't played to in the way he was used to at Leverkusen or with the national team. That's something that has to be developed over weeks and months. I know that he's not one of those divas in his position who stand around with their heads down if they're not passed to 3 times. Florian isn't like that. He's not only an extraordinary footballer, he also has a great character. He will give everything from the first to the last minute, always push forward. He also has incredible running stats. He will assert himself.